Good evening, everyone, and welcome to RTG TV for the second time this year, but the first time for the Thursday tier. We're here at the best track on the race calendar. I'm not being biased, it's just the truth. The British Grand Prix here at Silverstone, of course. There's going to be two DRS zones. There are two DRS zones on this circuit. There's 18 corners. It's 5.891 kilometres and 3.66 miles in length. It was first around in 1950, and of course we've got some famous corners here like Stowe, Maggots and Beckett's Club Corner as well. Abbey Turn 1 as well, starting to turn into a famous corner as well. The tyres we're racing on here are the C3, the soft, C2, the mediums, and C1, the hard tyres. Sprint format this evening as well, so we've got a short qualifying session with these 19 drivers in these wet conditions, and then on to the 9-lap sprint after that. Chuck is leading the championship at the moment after winning last week, after some reserves came in the top three, and then they had to drop out, of course. Pippa Kennedy's in second. Royal Rumble is third. Coix Game is fourth. Fifth is Super Striker. Mercedes are on 79 points at the top of the constructors. Alpha Tauris are on 71. And the Ferraris are on 69. Apologies, just had lovely Joes that come in the room there and filled up my drink as well. Anyway, how are you doing, mate? First time commentating actually in 24. I've done it since last year, mate.
Yeah, it still feels just a bit. Yeah, it's went in a bit quick up to now anyway. It's already the fourth, so yeah. But looking forward to this up to now, and well, we've seen that it's raining in the qualifying, so it's going to mix things up a little bit. And then especially with the sprint coming in, also another chance to spice things up for the race to come. Race who's on a lap first.
Sorry, Lee. Do we know what the actual weather is going to be for this race? We should do, shouldn't we?
Well, I have had word that it is dry in the sprint and in the race.
Oh, okay.
So that's what the weatherman is telling me.
Okay, of course we've got set conditions this season. Yeah. So sorry, I've just lost my foot in already. As we're seeing Chuckle, I didn't know how I did it on Monday. I was fine. It's just today. Yeah, Chuckle just making his way around the loop of turn 3 as he goes into Aintree and then down the Hanger Straight. The Wellington Straight, not the Hanger Straight, the Wellington Straight, and then into Brooklands and Luffield's. Tricky corners in wet conditions, Lee, especially here at Luffield when you get on the power, because the rear end doesn't really like when you get on the power through there.
No, it certainly doesn't. Remember actually seen it once. Yeah, so it's a good corner. Same here at Cops. Like flat out, you're just pushing on the limit, and then into Maggots and Beckett's here. Absolutely insane section. It's just perfect, I would say.
Yeah, well, it's an amazing section. So from Luffield up till we get to Stowe Corner here, you actually, in wet conditions you do, but in qualifying conditions in the dry, you don't actually touch the brake pedal, which is mad. You can actually lift through the second part of Beckett's. Arguably, potentially not the quickest run as Chuckle gets a bit out of shape there into, can't remember the final chicane corner. Club. The Super Striker goes on to provisional pole for the sprint, and no points to be had in this 18-minute session, of course, and only 1 point to be had in the end at the end of the 9-lap sprint. As the rules were changed for season 14, top 8 used to get points in the sprint. Now it's just the driver who takes the pole position, of course, using the 2022 and 21 format for sprint races in F1 23. As we were saying, though, Lee, we want to see the shootout option become available in 24, but also I said just after that, I hope they keep both options just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, it would be interesting, I would say, just having that extra qualifying session, and well, there'll be a lot more points up for grabs on the sprint weekends if that was the case.
Yeah. So I presume drivers will be doing a couple of laps to get used to this here, especially if we've got dry conditions in both sprint race and Grand Prix. They're not going to have to worry about using them up, but I don't know, personally I've always thought staying out for maybe 10 minutes, fueling up a little bit at the start, getting used to the track on one set because they don't wear too much, and then coming back in and maybe doing 1 or 2 runs on a new set with lower fuel. But I think these kind of conditions, you kind of need the practice, really. That's my personal view, anyway. That's how I used to do it.
I would definitely agree. I mean, old DLC been disqualified.
So
I've been 8th anyway.
Yeah, 2 out in Q, all 3 out in Q. Sorry, not Q1. It's just short qualifying, but yeah, 3 of them out. Prodigy being one, I think, because he is reserving and just wants to start from the back or near the back.
Oh, Looney Man out. Just coming up to the pit lane, actually.
Just about to start a lap as well, I think.
Yeah. Just getting that little bit extra tyre warm up then, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So as we've said week on week, we've tried to just get some stats in to make everything feel a little bit more interesting, a bit more authentic as well. Going to the qualifying stats, Lee, some of them are really in the red in terms of their qualifying performances. There's a handful, and I don't really feel like it feels bad naming names, but someone who's not here tonight, the AlphaTauri of One Wheel Kyle, he's been outside the top 10 in every qualifying session this season so far. Obviously not starting this evening. Perm Bowden being another one who's in 11th at the moment, so if it was to stay like this, obviously that stat would carry on of staying outside the top 10 for every qualifying session.
Yeah, so just looking at it right now, and it has been a good mix-up across the board, I will say, with not all the time people getting into Q3.
Yeah, it's interesting. So for everyone, and I probably will post this at the end of the season actually, so everyone can kind of see it and what it came out to be. But for Thursdays, we've got Q1, Q2, Q3 knockouts, and obviously staying in for Q3, and then we've got inside and outside the top 10 as well, obviously because we have these short qualifying sessions for the sprint, which gives us a little bit of a stat for this. So just including those Q1 and Q2 knockouts. No one as of yet, Lee, has been outside the top 10 at all 3 races and been out in Q3 yet. Haven't seen that just yet.
No, that is quite interesting, I will say. It is, I would say it is quite even sort of racing here, with them being so close together, and it allows for differences with each track. Everybody's got different levels of skill at each track, so some could suit other people, I would say.
Yeah. The other thing to mention as well, of course, is this is round 4, and we've already had 2 full qualifying sessions, and we're on our second sprint already. So we really had a 50-50 split in the first 4 races. But usually we'll obviously get back onto what's going on track. But usually, obviously in Q1, we talk about this a lot more because it's more of a formality for a lot of the drivers. Is quickest gamer goes fastest, and quite a bit faster actually, about 4.5 tenths. You there, Lee?
Yeah, I'm all good. Just trying to see. Danny has not managed to set a time yet. He's just started a lap there. Having a look. Sorry, I just had a brain fart.
No worries. Yeah, you saw him sort of getting a bit out of shape there through Aintree, as he also gets out of shape at the rear, as you so often see through Luffield. He goes through Woodcut and down towards Cops Corner. Tricky one in these conditions, that's for sure. You pull over to the right hand side, then go left through the first part of Maggots, then right again, then we get into Beckett's, and he's been a bit too greedy, bit off a bit too much there.
Yeah, I will say it has been proving a problem for a few drivers out there this wet weather as well. We know they will be most likely running a lower downforce setup compared to that's right for this weather anyway. So they won't be getting the adequate grip that they've been needing.
I know what you mean. It's tricky because, well, it's better for the drivers, this system as well, because the weather prediction is so off in F1 games in recent years. It can be what it says it's going to be, but it can be the complete opposite. So drivers pull on a dry setup, and it's absolute. You're going to tell me you like it, don't you? That's what you're about to say.
Yeah, because it brings that sense of total uncertainty into the mix. It feels more realistic, to be honest, I would say.
I maybe would agree with the admins maybe giving a provisional weather forecast, and they can change it to a certain degree, but not completely change it.
Yeah.
Like, say it. Like, even going to show, like, you know, even going into detail saying there's 30% chance of rain for the race. So they might put it on, they might not. But at least whatever they put on, it will be that. Because we've been so used to that in recent years. And I know what you mean as well. But I think it's quite rare, even today's standards, where we say it's going to be a dry race on a Sunday and then it just rains. But obviously they keep updated all throughout the weekend, even into the morning before the race, don't they? And you're going to have some idea 4 hours before. It's not going to be well off, but...
True, but they don't have that before qualifying and the rest of that. In that sense,
I suppose
they can't touch the car.
No, true. Very true. Chuckle.
I hope I take that.
Chuckle going through Chapel there, was able to get it done nice and tidily, when, unlike Danny when he went through it a few moments ago. He now goes through Stowe Corner. You kind of rise here and then fall back down into Club Chicane. Such a tricky corner to get right. It can get you at the best of times, and it almost got Chuckle. He came across the line almost sideways there. I think it actually was sideways, as he now makes his way through Abbey and can lift off and take a breather, because he maybe his heart was in his mouth there, the way he was going. As RTG Lee decides he wants to start making up his own track, which you can do in RTG, but it does look quite funny when you're going all the way across the all across the gravel at Maggots and Buckets, which I don't think is quicker.
No, but he's going to have to make sure he's off the line for Danny. He's only on an out lap anyway. But he ends up taking out one of the marker boards going into Stowe.
And we're just watching Danny now make his way into turn 3, Village, and then he comes into the loop. The tricky and most technical section on this circuit. And now it's pretty much a flat-out roller coaster ride until we get to Club Corner at the very end. Now, through the first sector, and we go into Maggots. Oh, sorry, Maggots. I'm so far beyond where I actually am. We go through Brooklands and Luffield. And as I said, now definitely up until the last part of Maggots and Buckets, we're not touching that brake pedal. Maybe a slight dab there in the rain. But he was cautious early through Stowe Corner there. Cops Corner. I keep mixing up the corners this evening.
I was actually on board with Prof, who's just coming around Stowe right now. He's just coming to the final section. Now just misses that apex there on the left. But makes it up on the right, and now to the line. What time's he going to be able to put on the board? 137.412.
Yeah, so he looks like he's starting 12th at best, and I think Danny actually backed out of it, Lee. I think he's going again. And another thing that happens in wet conditions as well, it doesn't use up as much of the battery, which I've never understood, but I think is that because there's more harvesting.
I'm unsure about that. I always thought it would be to do with you braking more.
Yeah, that's what I mean, like you're harvesting, because the braking distances are so much longer, and that's not going to equate into quick lap time from Danny there, who really was fighting to get the car in a straight line.
He's still up.
Well,
he's still up by a tenth and a half there.
Well, he's going to keep going then. I'm sure if he was within a tenth behind, he would keep going, because there's all the chance that this could still pay off for him, of course. He makes his way down towards Cops Corner, through the flat-out right of Woodcote, nice and easy even in the wet conditions. Uses a bit more track this time. And now the left-right of Maggots, not worrying, not wanting to take too much curb this time, as he now exits Beckett's, and then the left-hander of Chapel, as we've now flat to the floor, down towards Stowe Corner.
But he is low in that bar end. We do know that after it gets to 10%, it does produce a lot less power. So for Sector 3, he's going to be putting out a lot of amount of energy. So that could affect him. But then again, it could actually help him in keeping the car steady. Even there we go, he does improve by half a second up to 8th place with 135.804. Chuck across the line now, 135.0. Oh, Chuckle's around.
That is it, Luffield, yeah. So Pippo Kennedy still sitting on provisional pole for the sprint. Coix Gamers got to the checker flag now, so he's starting on the front row at the very best. As Super Striker makes his way down to Stowe Corner, staying away from the apex. It could be quite slightly on the curb there, actually. It's raised as well, and got to be extra careful through Club. And exit is Pippo Kennedy goes even faster. Is Super Striker going to be able to compete? No, he stays on the second row and in the 135. So Looney Man goes up into 5th place. And I don't think Chuckle's on a lap because, of course, he span earlier on. Triz has invalidated his lap time, so I believe our race winner from Japan, Lee, is on pole for the sprint.
Yep, and it looks like it was quite an impressive lap there, a 134.631. Just under 3/10 from Coix Gamer, who came in second. Yeah, this is going to be quite interesting to see come the race what is going to be happening with it being different weather. So doing a little bit of rain could spice things up completely.
To be fair, the grid isn't as different as we usually see, actually. There's a lot of faces towards the top that we have seen the last 3 weeks. I have to say, though, whilst we wait, the standout, though, this season so far, I know I wasn't here for round 2, but Belgium last week, I think, was really, really good, actually. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, not last week, it was a few weeks ago now, wasn't it? But yeah.
Anyway, on to the results here. We've got Pippo Kennedy, who gets the pole for the sprint race coming up. Coyotes Gamer was in second, Super Striker third, fourth was Chuck, Looneyman fifth, Chuckle in sixth, Lee in seventh, Matty Jones eighth, ninth was Ginge, Danny in 10th, Royal Rumble 11th, Aki 12th, 13th was Triz, 14th was Prof, Per Bowden 15th, and Arg was 16th. Prodigy GTR didn't manage to settle up, and JLC unfortunately did get disqualified for, I think it was parking in a dangerous place or going the wrong way, probably trying to.
I think it was going the wrong way. That's what I think it was. So, as Lee said, the weather is bright, sunny skies over Silverstone for this 9-lap sprint. Tyres, Lee, I'm assuming mainly softs as it's only 9 laps. Some have already gone on to mediums, though.
Yeah, well, a set of softs, they could last up to 13 laps, but of course, after about lap 7 is when they would start to fall off the cliff a bit, eh? And the mediums could do up to 18 laps, so we could probably see them ending up doing about 14 laps, maybe, depending on what happens. So I would say most likely would be mediums.
So I found out that Kyle from last week has actually had a race ban already, so that's why he isn't attending this evening. We've just found that actually from the comments. So as we wait, there's still a bit of a mix between softs and mediums. That's going to be the consensus for this 9-lap sprint. Of course, a really interesting section to start a race as well. Abbey Farm and Village, even going up into the loop, because the first 3 corners are really flowing and quite wide, and it gets into a really tight, narrow section where people have got to be careful, and then again opens back up again down the Wellington Straight. So only time will tell, but it's one of my favourite first 3 corners actually for race starts, so usually pretty good, and we've got 2 of them this evening, so aren't you all lucky?
Yeah, I would say Sector 1 is a really good sector for racing. Of course, the whole track is, but for the start of a race, it certainly is.
Do you prefer the old layout, Lee, or this one?
That's a tough one.
Right, so here we go for this 9-lap sprint. We've got 5 red lights. And we're away with Pippo Kennedy on pole as he gets a pretty decent launch. But Quicks Gamer gets a very good one, gets alongside as we go into Abbey Curve. As we now go around Farm and into Village. He's on the inside. It looks like he's going to take the lead as we go through Village and into the loop. But then, once again, Pippo Kennedy now has the inside line. He's going to challenge as we go through Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight. But no, Coix Gamer has taken the lead as we're going into the final parts of Sector 1. A couple of drivers switching places, getting very aggressive in the midfield there. As Super Striker now loses a place to Chuckle. But is he going to get it back as he's got the inside for Luffield Corner? But the outside line, especially with those soft tyres, might be able to come out on top. And Chuckle getting the launch he needed as we've got a big long run here before we get into Cop's Corner, as we now go right-handed through the fast right-hander. And Lee is now overtaken Looney Man. Very, very good first half of the lap, Lee.
Yeah, I was watching that battle there with Chuck and Super Striker really battling out there through Brooklands and Luffield there. And Chuck's just flew past Coyotes there for the lead. And he's already up 3 places now. Pippo Kennedy's dropped down to 3rd. Not the best of starts there in the Alpha Tauri, and we're seeing a bit of jostling going on between Matty Jones, struggling to get grip there after a little bit of contact with Lee, and he's lost plenty of places there.
Yeah, 2.
No, he was all the way up in 6th there, so he's all the way down into 11th now.
So as you go back to the front.
Sorry.
That's all right. Chuckle has now gained the place on Pippo Kennedy. Of course, the last sprint we were at was the first race, and that was in Abu Dhabi. Coix Gamer won that one and took pole for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and is now in 2nd place.
GTR'd off the track there at turn 4 there.
And now we've got an Alfa Romeo bearing down on him. But the top 6 all sticking with each other right now on this second lap. As we get on to the next one, of course, we're going to have DRS, whereas this season, or last season now, in Formula 1 in 2023, the sprint races where DRS was activated on this lap. Hopefully that will be a change that I'll make into the next game in the middle of this year. But for now, we've got to stick with the 2 laps of no DRS until we get on to the 3rd, which we're coming up to now as we're into the 3rd sector of this 2nd lap. Matty Jones getting closer and closer to the back of Ginge. He moves to the inside.
Ginge not giving him any around there.
Yeah, Ginge's very brave and bold around the outside, making a statement, setting a precedent. Stowe Corner as Chuckle now takes the fastest lap of the sprint. I don't believe there's points for fastest lap in the sprint though, and as I said, there's DRS now enabled.
Yep, Prodigy is right on the tail of Matty Jones here. We could possibly see a move happen as we go into Brooklands here. He's got the slipstream, he's got the DRS, he's got the overtake. He's got the inside line, he moves in a bit later on the brakes, there's a little bit of contact there. And now around the Luffield, he's going to be on the outside there, jostling and swapping places there. And it looks like Matty Jones could still have it. Yep, he's managed to defend and keep that 9th place there. Well done.
It's just one of those tracks where there's so much space in high-speed corners. You can really have confidence fighting with someone, and Matty went aggressive there, but I don't think he was too much. He was just, he really didn't want that Alpha Tauri to get past him.
No, definitely not. I would say that Prodigy was a little bit more aggressive there going into Brooklands. Sorry, battle here. Chuckle getting up to 2nd there from Coyotes Gamer.
Yeah, and
I think Coyotes Gamer went a bit wide there at Stowe. And Chuckle just managed to get up the inside there. Now he's bearing down on his brother Chuck in that Mercedes in 1st place.
But are they going to be friends or foes as we go down towards Village and through the left-hander of Farm? And I can imagine Chuckle wanting to stay behind just with the DRS that's coming up. But it's always nice to go for a lunge at Village Corner. It's one of those ones where
going for it. He's going for it. He's moving to the inside here. And it looks like Chuck could have just had that little bit better momentum.
It's not over yet though, because he's had a really good inside line there, Chuck, and now he's just going to slip in behind the Alfa Romeo and get the toe. And It's just just one of those tracks where this battle is going to go on now because we're going to wait and see. As Coits Gamer decides to make a racetrack of his own there as he went so wide through Cop's corner as we're through Maggots and now Beckett's through this left-hander at Chapel. DRS open on the apex of Chapel, and there we go again. Rear light flashing from the Alfa Romeo, so letting Chuck know that he's harvesting energy. He's down on power. He was lacking that DRS advantage as well, and just swooped past before we even got on the brakes to Cop. So on lap 4, it's a point to Chuck there as he's going to cross the line in the lead.
Ooh, yep, Chuckle getting a little bit wobbly there, getting back on the power, and I will say that is one thing that does leave you like a sitting duck, is using up all your ERS in opening laps. Spinning around there.
I think it's one of the
way.
Most important things in a race to make sure to manage the battery in the first sort of 3 or 4 laps, because if you use it all, it can just cost you for the whole race unless you want to sacrifice and be determined not to press that button, have the willpower to not press it. Then you can charge it back up, but it is a long time till it comes back up. So yeah, first 3 or 4 laps so important in terms of your battery, and a lot of them are low on it right now. Actually, even Chuck, he's down to around 17-18%.
Well, hold on a moment, because Super Striker could be looking for a move here on Purple Candy. No, he couldn't get it with Purple Candy, unfortunately, having that DRS also. But he's looking to the outside here, just trying to get him to make any sort of mistake there, putting on the pressure. Prodigy and Matty Jones still battling it out. Now Prodigy's got the move done.
I'm just still keeping an eye on Super Striker here. Is he going to go for this lunge at turn 3? No. That would have been the place to go for it as well, because he'd have had the DRS from the car ahead of him anyway. And he's just looks like he's got so much more speed than that Alpha Tauri. And he's just holding him up. The medium tyre looking quite strong now as we're already on lap 6 of 9. This track is a long one, but it's a quick circuit. And these laps get done thick and fast as we're coming towards the end of the sprint. I don't know about you, Lee. Feels like that's already been done in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, I would say that myself. I think that was GTR'd around there. But yeah, it does seem to be there's went in quite quickly. These guys obviously battling out at the front here. And Super Striker got the best in the ERS department. Matty Jones getting a 3-second time penalty. That's going to hurt him. He's going to be down in 12th if things stay the way they are.
Yes, we're going to go on lap 7 in a moment, and then there'll be 3 laps to go. And at the moment, the top 5, and even Pippa Kennedy's been able to hold on. Maybe we've done him a bit of a disservice here because he's been able to hold on, but these 6 even, I say 5, the 6 of them are just all look like they're matching each other for pace at the moment. But I feel like we've got a massive race on our hands in the next 3 laps, though, because this is where they're going to start using the tyre and start using the battery.
Yeah, I will say that Chuck has been doing quite well on his battery, Chuckle, so he's just sat back and just used that DRS to stay close. He's managed to save up quite a considerable amount compared to what you had just a few laps ago.
And this is one thing about Thursdays as well. It is the second tier, but I actually think nothing against
Loneyman and Prodigy there battling out there going around Brooklands, and it looks like Loneyman's managed to move up a place.
But for how long? I was going to say for how long, because it looked like he was going to come back at him on the off-board there. Maybe he is now on the exit. Yeah, wow, he got a very good line there, and I think that was also just an aid of Loneyman making a mistake through Cops. Yeah, to go back, nothing to take away from the Monday tier, but I actually think the pace has just been so close in this second tier, and it's not really about pace necessary. We just want to see
Hold on
really
a
close
minute.
racing.
Prodigy and Gingy are battling it out. Oh, it looked like Prodigy and Gingy just the way Prodigy and Looneyman just going for it there.
Yeah, it did look like that. They're not really that far off the lead pack either. They're only just a little bit behind, and with the consistency we've seen so far, this might hold good for the race when we get into it in about 15 minutes time, 10 minutes time. Got someone off the track there. I think that's an Alpine. I think it's Triz. Yeah, he's gone off there at the exit of Stowe Corner. This is getting interesting now. We're on the penultimate lap, but the pace between these guys, Lee, the softs and the mediums have almost sort of, they've come together in sort of performance at this point. It doesn't seem like there's much between them actually. So I'm not too sure what's going to happen actually.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, probably the mediums will be starting to pick up compared to the softs. Like, it's quite most definitely they will be having the better grip at this point. So I would say, judging by that gap that Koyaks has got to chuckle ahead, and he's managed to pull a gap on Pippo Kennedy behind also. So
it's got a good.
I could see.
Go on.
I know, so you could see Koyaks moving up a space or two, maybe even.
Yeah, well, he moved up a couple of places, or he was in a couple of places up from where he is right now at the end of the Abu Dhabi sprint a few weeks back in mid-December. Is that going to happen again here at the start of January? He's coming around, or the top three are coming around the loop and then into Aintree, but he hasn't got the exit he wanted. That could have been one of the more important exits. And as I said, we're into the last lap now. Gloves are off. Tyres are being used. Overtake button is being pressed. And everything is being put on the table. All chips are down. They're about to reveal their final hands in this sprint. But who's going to have the best one? Is it looking like at the moment, Lee? Chuck has got that best hand at the moment because he's been doing supremely well in the lead. But he's got to be worried about this final DRS zone.
Yep, well, Chuck has got that 20% of battery there compared to 5% of Chuck's. And Chuck is actually flashing on that fuel indicator. So he is running low, so it could be quite a close one. He could be running on fumes come the end.
Oh, here he goes.
And look at...
Whoa, there was no competition there at all. He's just flown straight on by. Is he going to try and fight back here?
Oh...
It's a lot of risk, isn't it? It's a lot of risk over reward there. And I don't think it was worth the risk. And Chuckle takes pole position for the race and wins his first sprint of the season. Chuck is in second. Koikskamer has finished third, and that has got me excited for the race, Lee, because that was a very, very close sprint. Maybe not a huge amount of overtaking, but there's also that thinking about the longevity, thinking about the race and being in a good position for that. So who knows?
Yeah, well, we do know here this is the one of the longest, if not the longest, time that you spend in the pit lane when you're changing your tyres and that. So judging by that, it is probably going to be most likely we'll see one stops here come the race. And, well, it's a lot of time that you do spend in there, 38 seconds from line to line. So, we'll run down now of the final order of the sprint. Chuckle getting that pole position for the race, and he will get that one extra point also for the pole position. Chuck just losing out there at the end, just a few corners there to go to the line, and he ends up getting second. Koikskamer third, fourth was Super Striker, Pippo Kennedy in fifth, Lee in sixth, Prodigy seventh, eighth was Ginger Looneyman, ninth, tenth was Danny, Matty Jones and Royal Rumble were 11th and 12th. Aki 13th, Prof 14th, GLC 15th, 16th was ARG, GT Org, Prime Bowden, Perm Bowden, and Triz rounded it out.
So as I said, it's going to be interesting for the race. As you also said, and was correct on, of course, about the race. It's going to be a dry race, but not just yet. We're going to have another lobby loaded up in a minute. So we're going to wait for that. The only reason for that is we don't have safety cars in the sprint races anymore. They were taken out just due to the fact that safety cars can come out far too often when they're not needed. So it's turned into a podcast for 5 minutes. And podcast questions, Lee. Steak F1 team. Been waiting to talk about this.
You hungry?
Have you not heard?
Yeah, I heard. I was like, what the?
Agree with it? Don't disagree with it?
It's stupid,
Don't
man.
bother. Not bothered? No, he's bothered. I'm actually.
I think it's just stupid.
I'm genuinely bothered about the fact that I don't feel like a betting company should be a Formula One team. Just kind of. You ban smoking, you ban alcohol. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a better. Like I've done one or two bets. I mean, I live in Cheltenham, for crying out loud. I mean, it would be weird if I'd never done a bet. If anyone doesn't know, massive horse racing in Cheltenham. I'm not at all, but I will bet on the odd occasion on a Friday race.
Just that one's got a funny name. I'll pick that one.
My missus is very good at it.
I remember that.
She's very weirdly good at it, admittedly. So if anyone's going to bet in my house, it'll be her, not me.
It's like Nessa Psychic.
Yeah. That was a weird thing to say, Lee. Yeah, but no, an F1 team, betting company. It's just it'd be like Heineken Zero F1 team. Like, that's just stupid.
Jack Daniels racing.
Like, now that would be cool.
Aye.
I like whiskey a little bit too much.
Same. I've got some monkey shoulder there. Come on.
I can't get into the lobby, can you?
No. Pain in the butt.
I really don't want to have to start another stream, guys. I've got OCD about the channel. Come on. Whilst we wait to see if this works, see if I can join the session. If not, I will just have to restart the lobby. So apologies if that's going to happen. But nothing I can really do.
I'll check chat.
Yeah, we'll just bear with it a second. We won't just stop it just yet. We'll wait a second. Thanks, Pam. It's appreciated. Quick question then, whilst we're here, people watching, because I'm assuming people watch here and watch the other videos, what has been your favourite videos? Do you like the highlights videos at the end of the week? Obviously we've only had one so far, but the overtakes of the month, or do we like the moments of the week that are the short videos and of interest? And to throw another curveball in there, is there anything that you would want to see that you don't see? Would be the other one. And I've got in, so we don't have to make a new lobby. Thank you, Lee.
You're Velcro.
But yeah, out of interest, anyone listening, the moments of the week, the short videos, overtakes of the month, as Liam says, not enough of me. Which one are you, Liam? Unfortunately, I'm not a magician and can't work out what your PlayStation name is.
Who are you?
Apart from that, is there anything else and that you like? Right, so as we wait for these guys to get ready, it should only be a few minutes. They're usually pretty rapid at doing this, so we can get on with it. Ah, Super Striker. Okay, I'll bear that in mind. It means he won't be in any videos anymore. Only joking. Super Striker. He said, I said, what do people like or don't like, or what do they want? And he said, more of me.
Yeah, but who's Super Striker? Oh!
Has anyone got a tap? Is that burnt? Yeah, so I know obviously I think Perm watches it a lot. I know Little Mo does as well from a Monday. Do you watch Overtakes the Monthly?
I
He hasn't,
I
ladies
did
and
actually
gents.
see some of them.
Do you remember what the number
seen
one
some of
was?
them. What, the Matthews?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
That was a belter. No.
Which one
I'd
did
say
you think was number one?
Little Mo.
Oh, well, the admins in me had a vote.
I see. And just, I don't know, I just found Little Mo's a bit more precise in the braking. It was just executed perfectly, I would say.
Yeah, they were both good, to be fair. It was a hard
definitely.
it was hard
It was.
decision to make. It was a hard decision to make. The only silver lining, I suppose, in the Moments of the Week video, each week they both got number one. So at least he got number one for that.
That's well deserved anyway.
But if anyone wants to know what the overtake of the month's going to be, a little hint, keep an eye on the Moments of the Week, because I could give you an idea. Not saying it's going to be, but it could give you an idea. I do use that as a bit of a reference as well. But yeah, the top three are voted by the admin to me, and then I just do the rest because I can't be bothered to ask everyone's opinion on 7 of them. That's literally the truth. Shh. Just too honest, what can I say?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, going back, Stake F1 team, rubbish idea. I thought the Stake F1 team kick Sauber was stupid, but this is arguably even more stupid.
Yeah, they're just idiotic, I think.
What's the matter with Stake Sauber Formula 1 team? Like, no one would have a problem with that. That's very normal.
Although it would be even cooler, Silver Stake F1 team.
That'd be funny.
Just thinking of
Sauber kick steak. Just a child.
To be honest, so right. See if you're.
But yeah, bring back Sauber. Hashtag bring back Sauber.
Yeah, Silver Stake kick sounds like some sort of like fancy for like martial art move.
Yeah, no, Stake F1 team does not. No, don't like it. Don't like it.
I think it's...
Why couldn't they have just made a contract with Alfa Romeo for another 2 seasons?
I have no idea.
But also, that was also weird. It was always Sauber, but they were just a glorified title sponsor. And after our ramblings of the mini sprint format podcast, we're about to get ready. Hopefully, everyone will remember their setups. Anyone watching, you're welcome.
Anyone not watching,
Unlucky.
And forgot. It's bad to laugh, but it's funny.
Yeah. And last question before we get started then. Who's already missing F1? I've actually got my hand up because I'm starting to.
Well,
December I'm not too bothered about, but anything else? What's fortunate enough for you?
Well, fortunately enough, I've got Rush there on DVD, so I've got a little bit to at least keep us somewhat entertained a little in the sense of F1.
I think Rush is on Netflix, right? Rush.
I've not got Netflix. It's pointless. I think it's...
Wow.
Ugh.
Yeah. Okay. On that front, we're about to get ready to go. We should have about a minute before we get going, just to let everyone get their setups on, and then obviously the standard straight off without any. John reckons Mercedes is going to challenge Red Bull this season. I hope someone challenges Red Bull this season. I'm not even going to guess I want it to be Mercedes because I like both of them, but I also like McLaren as well. So either of those, I'm happy with either.
Stay careful on team.
No.
World champions.
Get in the bin, Lee. We don't want to hear your comments. There we go. So the same conditions we had before, ladies and gents. As I said, it's going to be a dry race for this 26-lap race. More than likely going to be a one-stop, Lee, because how long's the pit stop time?
Well, from when limiter is activated to when you could deactivate it again, it is 38 seconds. That's including getting in, stopped, tyres changed, off again also.
But another 8 seconds on the top of that if you're going to change your front wing.
Yeah, roughly. I think it comes to altogether, I was at 8 seconds. If you're getting both done, like tyres and a wing.
Yeah. Oh no, Lee, we haven't done our jobs properly. What's the tyres looking like? Oh, bit of a mix. Bit of a mix. Wow, I say that. It's majority, it's 17 on mediums and hards, and then we've got the 1 on the softs, which is Chuck on the front row. So I'm sure that will change, but in recent weeks I like to sort of stay off the screen actually. So John's, I'm assuming thinking, is John's quickly in the comments, he's thinking Mercedes, Red Bull and McLaren will be top 3 next season in constructors. Not that order, I'm just saying that's the top 3 things, which is probably what I'm guessing it will be. But you never know. Aston Martin had a really good start last season. They could do again this season and actually keep it up instead of falling off a cliff. Weird though, they did have quite a decent end to the season, didn't they? 1 or 2 podiums towards the end. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I think with Aston Martin, I remember... let's forget about that.
Don't worry. 4 and 5 red lights. And we're ready for round 4 here in Britain. And Chuckle getting a good launch, but Chuck getting a better one and already getting into the lead as we go into the first corner, leaving him just enough space as he's now right alongside. Super Striker is alongside... Oh, sorry, Coix Gamer, it was alongside Chuckle there, and now he's trying to fight for second place. But now he's got Super Striker right on his gearbox. The 2 Alpha Tauris are fighting as we go through the loop and then through Aintries. We're now going down the Wellington Straight all the way towards Brooklyn, and the 2 Aston Martins switching places. Ginge losing the place to Lee, who's now in 7th place. Is Matty Jones is now going at the inside of Looney Man at Beckett's. But as we get into Luffield, Looney Man looking on the inside of him, but he wasn't able to get the traction. We've seen the outside line being the better line at Luffield for wheel-to-wheel racing. As we go through the Cops Corner, Chuckle has already lost 1 and a bit seconds to his brother ahead after starting on pole and losing it into the first corner. Matty again getting close to the other McLaren now.
Yeah, when looking up, looks like is Super Striker going to go for that? It looked like he was having a wee peek there down the inside of Coix, but he threw him offline, and now he's managed to get the place done. Up in the third there for the Ferrari of Super Striker. Nicely done there.
So it's only him and Chuck who are on the soft tyre for the start of the race. Chuck got onto the softs at the very start of the countdown before we got going, and it never changed. So him and Super Striker, that's probably why he got such a good launch. So that strategy's worked out well for him in the first lap and a third. But as we said in the sprint lead, this is where drivers have got to concentrate on being disciplined with their batteries, as Prodigy is on the charge. He's starting towards the back of the field at the start of the sprint. And by the time we're through sector 1 and coming out of Luffield, is he going to be in 4th place? Quick Gamer is fighting tooth and nail for this, both on the medium tyres. Quicks will have the inside line. It's going to have to be a big ballsy move here from Prodigy. Really tried it, but Koiks did not give him the room here. They're almost wheel banging the Dutchman versus the South African as we go through. Maggot and Beckett, and it's a couple of drivers are. I'm not too sure what happened there, Lee. I was actually off board and I didn't catch it.
It looked like going to the right-hander, the first right-hander. It looked like Koiks Gamer ended up making contact with the side of Prodigy. Unsure if it was Prodigy that cut across or not.
They were arguably giving six of one and half a dozen of the other, I think. So
yeah, they were both relentless. They both wanted that position, and unfortunately, it didn't work out for either of them.
And we're already on lap 3, Lee. Super Striker is right on the gearbox of that Alfa Romeo, who hasn't got DRS to defend here. He's got the soft tyres as well, so going to have that advantage. Of course, a lot of fresh sets after resetting the lobby. Actually, I was going to say about the wet conditions in qualifying, but we reset the lobby, which means they reset all the tyres. They've all got soft tyres, all got fresh, soft, and all compound tyres. They're fresh sets, so a lot to play with here. And those soft tyres looking very good at the start of the race, but I'm sure he's going to wait and hold back for the Hanger Straight, where the second DRS zone.
Chuckle going real wide there around Cobbs, and that could possibly end up costing him a warning anyway. And now it's allowed Super Striker to get right up on his tail, and he's going to be able to use that DRS now in the slipstream and his battery to just whiz past him there. And he's well past him before even the braking zone. Up into second there now.
Of course, Chuckle and others behind, even Pippa Kennedy and Ginger, you can see on your screen at the moment with the tyre compounds. They're playing the longer game here. As I said, more than likely going to be a one-stop here unless there's a safety car, because the pit lane is just so long. 36 seconds for a pit stop. So it's a big call if you're going to make it to do a two-stop, and you've got to be very, very quick. And it's almost like you're doing qualifying laps. Every lap is...
Oh, my.
Matthew Jones looks like was he spun round there, Lee?
Yeah, turn 2, he must have just lost it. And, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think he's got any damage. I think he just spun out, unfortunately. So down to 12th he is now. And he's got Royal Rumble just over a second behind, just under a second behind him.
And, yeah, it's just teetering on that 1 second gap at the moment, isn't it? Chuckle.
Oh, Pen Bowden again.
Having a tough time of it at the moment. Chuckle still within DRS range of Super Striker ahead of him after he was overtaken by him around this point of the circuit last lap. So he's going to have the DRS to close that gap, and Super Striker actually closing the gap on Chuck as well, which is helping Chuckle as well, just being pulled along by the slipstrings. We've had our first retirement of the evening, actually, as every driver finished the sprint. Pern Bowden is out on lap 4, retired of his own accord, and has left the session. Hopefully he'll stay along to watch what happens in the coming laps. But yeah, Super Striker now within DRS range, Lee. So actually, Chuckle getting passed by Super Striker has actually done him a big favour here.
I'm unsure. Is he going to have that DRS now?
It was very close, wasn't it, when they got to the entry of turn 3?
Yeah, but watching that rear wing now, it doesn't appear so. He's just outside it. So Chuckle managing to still keep right on the tail of that Ferrari in second place.
And of course, the field's a little bit more spread than it was at the start of the sprint because the majority of the drivers went on the softs, and there was only a two tyre
Matty Jones
strategy
and
really.
Prof battling out here for that 10th position there, and it looked like Matty Jones was having a wee look down the inside.
I was going to say, now he's going to have a go at the inside at Woodcote. He had a fantastic exit out of Luffield, and he's got back. Oh. No, he looked like he got past, and then something happened there. Yeah.
I think maybe Prof just used up a little bit of battery there just to give that extra boost.
Prodigy getting close to the back of Ginger after having the mishap with Coix Gamer, who's down in 18th place now. 18th in the last as Prodigy gets past, as Matty Jones gets past on the same straight, just a little bit earlier on in the straight before they get to Stowe Corner.
Yeah, he just unfortunately Prof just didn't get the best line going onto the hanger straight, and yeah, that gave Matty Jones ample opportunity there to get that position with the aid of the DRS also.
I'm looking back at the top three here, Lee. Definitely within DRS range this time around. Gained some time. Chuckles actually got past Super Striker, and the medium starting to come into their own now, actually. He's getting closer and closer. There's definitely some pockets going on though, isn't there? There's definitely some drivers that are very close together at the moment. Oh, Lee, sorry, I'm just going a little bit further back here. Aki coming from a long way back to get past Arg into Brooklands, and he got it done, which was very impressive. He must have been 2 or 3 car lengths back into the start of the braking zone.
Yeah, but it seems like he's a man on a mission right now. He's got 9.5 seconds there. Oh,
Pippo looking quick on the hard tyre there, getting past just before Stowe Corner, getting past Lee and up into 4th. And this is a driver, the guys ahead are going to have to keep their eyes on Lee, I think, because the hard tyre will start to become a better tyre. I feel like in F123 it has a weak point at the start, it gets a little bit better in this mid phase which we're at now, drops off again and then comes back. It's a very strange compound, the hard tyre, any circuit, regardless if it's the C0, 1, 2 or 3. It can be a very strange tyre.
Yeah, I've got to say that as well. One thing I do like though is that in some tracks the mediums actually perform better, but then again, bear in mind, there it is, Pippo Kennedy losing that place to Lee there. Just with that aid of the DRS, although you could see that light flash now in the Aston Martin, which will tell you, battery is low.
Certainly is, and Prodigy will be wanting his teammate to get out of the way here. They're on separate strategies. In a real world situation, I think he would be asked to get out of the way at some point, but on the other hand, actually, playing devil's advocate, he's right on the back of that Aston Martin and wanting to get past himself, so maybe they'll deal with the green car first and then deal with each other. But is this going to already happen? Is he going to deal with both in one straight? There goes Prodigy. Two cars in one straight. It was a homage to Belgium 1999 there with Mika Hakkinen and Michael Schumacher with the back marker that everyone forgets about. But now there's also a battle going on at the front as Chuck gets past and... Well, I say gets past, defends the lead actually, and Chuckle was trying to get past him as we go into turn 4 around the loop, as we loop back into Aintree and then down the Wellington straight. Super Striker sat in that 3rd place for quite a while now, deciding again, and a lot later on the brakes there than Chuckle, and I think he actually stayed on the brake pedal longer than he would have wanted, because closed that gap to Chuckle very quickly in the braking zone, gets himself a very decent exit as well.
Yeah, but they're still managing to stick quite close together. I mean, Prodigy It seems like that little gaggle of cars there, he has managed to catch up a little. Prof and Matty Jones are battling out again. Now Prof has managed to get back past. But he goes wide, and this could be leaving him vulnerable here. Coming up in the DRS zone, just in a few corners.
So there's the first one to pit, Chuck. Unsurprisingly, as he was on the soft tyre, so I'm really, really not surprised about that, Lee. But as you said, a long time. The pit limiter line is so early here, and it's agonising, waiting and waiting until you see a pit box. Where's he going to fall down, really? He's going to go almost to the back here. Where is he going to come out between like Aki and JCL? Maybe. Here comes Aki around the final corner of Club.
Yep, Aki's managed to get past. And
he's still not at the end of the pit lane yet.
Nope.
Wow, just shows how close the grid's still.
On the mediums too.
That's a two-stop, surely.
No, you'll be able to do it, but that is really stretching it. Pushing it on up to 18 laps on the mediums. It's going to be a tough call.
It certainly is.
He's going to be hoping and praying for a safety car, so you could possibly get a little cheeky pit stop. But then again, he's going to have to hopefully wait for it till after everyone's pitted.
And of course, this man is taken 2 wins this season out of the 3. Pippa Kennedy in 4th place right now is the other one to take a win in the second race. When I've been overseeing Thursday, Chuck's been the only one to win on the whatever date it would have been. 14th of December, I think, was the last time a different winner won in the Thursday tier. Super Striker's still behind and going on to another lap, so potentially doing the same thing, Lee, going on to the mediums, but getting that offset over Chuck. But Chuck actually did get himself into it, on the plus side for him, he has got himself into a bit of clean air, actually, where he hopes by the time he catches up to the guys ahead of him, they'll have all pit, as a few of them are already starting to, actually, which is quite early for the mediums as well.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, Super Striker is trying to stretch that a little bit, so he's got that bit extra come the end of the race. But looking at this, Prodigy has actually gained about half a second in the past couple of laps, so we'll keep an eye on that and see how things are going to go with that.
Danny getting close to the back of Ginge as well. Medium tyre looking very good at this point in the race. Is Super Striker going to stay out again? He's been pushing and got very, very close to the back of Chuckle, but no, decides to stay out again. And Chuckle, we knew he had some problems last week. Laycom had a few problems there actually, but ended his race in the end. But looks like he's having problems through Abbey as well. Not Abbey, sorry, Club Corner, the last couple of corners.
It's I think it just might be his car. He maybe prefers it to be a little more pointy, I would say. And just trying to get on the power like that, it does provide to be a little bit more of a struggle.
Super Striker getting very close there, but not close enough. Chuckle went quite wide though, so it did open the door. I'm sure Super Striker was eager to go into the gap that was left for him, but wasn't close enough into the braking zone. As we go into Cop's corner, we got the second driver out, and that, ladies and gents, is a safety car. Chuck is going to be fuming. Absolutely fuming. That is not gone well.
That's the thing. This has gone perfectly for Super Striker.
Yeah.
Prodigy and Chuckle, on the other hand, not so much.
Yeah, especially the ones on the hards. Yeah, especially the ones on the hards. That's not good. As you said, for Super Striker, that has worked out to absolute perfection. Pippo doing something that in Formula One you would get penalised for, Lee. Backing up, giving Prodigy some space, and he's got quite a lot of it here. He's probably got about 6 or 7 seconds. And of course, you can't overtake under a safety car, so Pippo can technically do that. I don't think there's a rule in RTG that you can't do that. Chuckle goes on to, and Super Striker goes on to the hards as well. Ooh, so that was a big call. That was a big call from Chuck then. And Chuck's into the pits as well.
Oh, Chuck will be going on a fresh set of mediums, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, as you said, they've all got fresh tyres for this now after obviously resetting the lobby. Has anyone decided to stay out? Drive-through penalty speeding under the safety car for Triz. It's those people, when the safety car comes out, I do seem to find is we're actually racing at the pit exit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do seem to find drivers do switch off, don't they?
Yeah, a little. I would say I'm guilty of it myself. And yeah, you just sort of, you lose that sort of momentum that you had going, and can't take a couple of laps to end up getting back into the rhythm again, I would say.
Coix Gamer gone on to the softs, Lee. It's got to be a double soft, isn't it? But I don't think the soft tyres got the advantage over the medium and the hards to that extent for the 36-second drop in time that you're going to get when he comes into the pits again, because it's not going to get to the end, surely.
Definitely not.
No. The tyres would be right at the end of their life if he did stay to the end.
Not unless he's got that pit limiter on the whole lap, the whole rest of the race, then they ain't going to be listening him to the end. He's going to either try and catch up as much as he can, then maybe pit for mediums, but then again he's still going to be a big fair bit back. Seconds.
Chuck's gone onto the hard tyre as well, which I think is interesting. The strategy is not gone the way I ever thought it was going to go today. Very, very, very strange. As we get to half distance in the race, and by the time we get towards the end of this lap, well, I say that probably around the next couple of corners, Coix Gamer will have caught up, and so we'll be racing again on lap 14. We've got DRS again on lap 16. And it's definitely mixed it up. Pippa Kennedy, the one on the mediums, as well as Ginge. Obviously, him and Prodigy did the opposite. Prodigy was on the mediums, Pippa was on the hard, so was able to have the luxury to go to the medium. This is going to become very interesting. The safety car is going to be coming in this lap. We're going to get a notification of that in about 5 seconds' time as we make it through these final few corners of Sector 2. And then this man, Chuckle, will be dictating the pace. Been on the podium once this season so far. Is he going to get on it again? But on the top step, got Super Striker behind him. Prodigy in third, who is a reserve tonight. So he will be taken out of the final order. He literally is here to make up the numbers. And we'll see what happens when we get going. The safety car is now into the pit, so he can go whenever he deems it necessary and when he's ready. And as I said, has the luxury to be warming up the tyres more than everyone else, because he knows what he's going to do. And usually most guys go here, and I think that has been the case. Took a slightly wider line through the final penultimate corner of 17 to get the car straightened up and to get foot flat to the floor as we go on to lap 14.
Danny, they're looking for a way to get around Purple Kennedy. I was just, I think I was a bit late moving there from Purple Kennedy. Doing a bit aggressive there, but managing to defend that 4th position there.
But it has made him, it's made him vulnerable down this straight though. But it is mediums versus the hards. Mediums actually defending and should have the advantage at this point. But we still have a long way to go as we're taking the long right-hander of Luffield with the leaders as they now power down through Woodcut in the old start-finish straight, the short circuit start-finish straight, and into Cops Corner.
Oh, wait a minute, Winnie Man going up the outside, the Triz at Cops. And then does Royal Rumble having a wee look at it and managed to get around the outside, the Triz also there.
And Triz is the one. Sorry, go on.
No, Triz just losing out 2 places there, that was incredible.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't catch it fully. His Prodigy's now up into 2nd place and overtaking Super Striker as we're watching Triz MB as he has now spun it. And has he taken out another car? It looks like he has. Oh dear. That's a couple of drivers who have had a mistake. They're caught game of penalty for multiple warnings. Chuck as well. Oh no.
That is bull.
And another safety car, and I don't really think that was his fault.
He hit that wall at like 2 miles an hour. And it just broke. Aren't they meant to be like tested, like strength tested before the season even starts?
That was a freak accident. He was just trying to spin the car around to get into the pit. Arguably, I've said it once already today, devil's advocate, probably was a little bit too far past the pit lane. Probably was slightly naughty, but
He was past the bollard.
If we were going to go by the letter of the law, then he was past the pit lane. So he shouldn't have really done that. But
essentially, don't know Lewis Hamilton in Germany.
Yeah, good memory that 2019. It's throwing another curveball.
That was actually a great race.
It was a very good race. Another curveball here, Lee. Do they all pit again for mediums? Or softs at this point now, actually?
Not worth it. Maybe for the back runners, it might be a bit more worth it.
Well, whatever Chuckle does here, the majority are going to follow because they know what he's going to do. No, there's a couple of dummies going on.
Oh, here we go.
Ginge deciding, and I think there will be always is, isn't there? When one goes, the rest go.
Yep, Alexander also.
And this, from a neutral perspective, Lee, is what I love. Hopefully, we're going to get all these going on to softs, and this is going to make it very, very interesting, and hopefully it'll make up for these 2 consecutive safety cars, basically. They really have been just one after the other. Soft tires, maybe mediums. It's still medium. Ginge has gone on the softs. So's Looney Man. So's Royal Rumble. They can go to the end. They did 9 laps on the softs in the sprint. They can easily go to the end. I actually think JLC has made actually a big mistake here.
Argan Triznaki have done the same. They're on fresh mediums also, so I'm going to say this is going to be actually quite fun, but then you've got to be careful of Ginge, who's they're all a big distance back, so they're going to have to be treating these tyres with care, I would say, as they catch back up to the safety car.
They've got time to, though. They don't have to worry about
definitely
getting on with it. They can take their time, which I think is what Ginger's doing smartly.
Yeah, but he's not taking the corners too quick or that. So, yeah, I would say that is probably the best idea. Keep the wear down as much as possible. Plus, you don't want them to be too hot come the start.
I am surprised, though, more on the softs. Because they look, from our perspective, they look like a good tyre.
Yeah, I would say so myself. Oh, what's happened? Matty Jones is in.
Ho ho ho!
Oh. This is semi-kayaks as well.
The sheep still follow, don't they?
Mm.
And there's nothing against anyone, by the way, at all. It really does happen. Racing drivers are like sheep. It is a thing.
Yeah. Let's see, so they took a bit one on softs. Okay, stays out, so this is going to be quite a mix-up here. We've got the 5 hard runners in the top 6 with Pippo Kennedy in the middle of them in 4th. And then from there down, it's mostly softs. This is going to be fun.
Say again.
I'm saying this is going to be fun.
It really is.
Just getting to the back there. Sorry. Can you go?
No, it's fine. That's all I had to say.
Alright. Yep. Trestle. He's got a drive-through to serve. And I think he'll actually be able to serve it this lap when the safety car comes in, but he's just got to be a little bit more patient.
Yeah, well, this is also an issue for him, I suppose, because he should have pit on the very first lap after the safety car, because he would not be in this problem now.
Yeah, true.
And there we go, safety car in. Go on, sorry.
No, I was just saying it was unfortunate that, like, some things like that happen. You know, you just end up switching off, like you said, and there you go, you end up getting a penalty. And yeah, we're getting ready to get back underway here. And we've got Chuckle, who's going to be leading off again. When is he going to go? He's going to go about the same time, I would imagine so. It appears that he is. Yep, foot flat to the floor now. And he actually manages to get quite a good launch there.
Yeah, he really has, actually, as we go into turns 1, 2 and 3. Especially people like Lee and Danny, they're going to be looking in their rearview mirrors because they've got drivers on soft tyres close behind them and with some very good pace. And of course, there's drivers in the lead as well, in the lead pack who didn't pit. They're on reasonably worn tyres already, and as we know from this game so far, in the first half of its life cycle, they don't take kindly to being reheated up. Actually, it seems to be a bit of a pattern with that. As Looney Man now gets past JCL already. Here goes Ginge on the first driver who hasn't pit. Is this been an absolutely epic call from the drivers that pit for the softs? Are the drivers in the top 5 going to end up with egg on their face once we come to the end of the 26th lap? And they've got a long way to go, but long enough for these soft tyres to have good performance for the whole stint. Aki's round and fallen to the back of the field after spinning out at Cop's corner, gets himself back underway, but he's not going to be best pleased about that.
When you man having a look up the inside there of Lee at Stowe, and they're still going to be side by side coming into the chicane. It appears like not, but he manages to get up into 7th place. So now Lee has unfortunately lost 2 places now to the soft runners.
And another driver is round, that's Matty Jones, and he's around at the final chicane at Vale before the club chicane. If you're a betting man, Lee, would you be putting money on Ginge and Looney Man here?
I'm unsure on that one. As well, but there's still a bit of a few cars that they've still got to go through. And of course, they're not exactly going to give it up easy. It's a tough call. We've only got about 7 laps left.
7.5.
So.
Yeah, 7 full laps. We're on the 8th to last at the moment. The top 3 very... Royal Rumble get himself a 3-second time penalty there, trying to go aggressive on the soft tyres. We'll really see what is what really when the DRS is enabled at the end of this lap, because Ginge has already caught up to the back of Danny now as well within 1 lap, and we'll just be feeling super confident on the quickest tyre as we go on to that 20th lap. The DRS is now enabled, and we're going to see how good the top 5 are at defending now, especially against a very quick car. Very quick driver and a very quick tyre. So we've had another retirement from the race. That's Matty Jones. And Chuck obviously retired for the safety car.
Yes, he did.
So that's all right. We're down to 14 of the 19 now. There's no overtakes into Brooklyn as we make our way through Luffield. Still keep an eye on Ginge, because I think this is the most interesting car to be looking at. Zaki also retires in the pits as well. So he spun just here at Copse Corner on lap 19. So it felt like he was too far back. I think frustration has also got the better of him as we go through the left right, and then another left right of Maggots and Beckett. So if we now go down the Hanger Straight, so we're going to see a change of the lead. We are. Prodigy moves up into first. He's come all the way from 17th, I think, and now got himself a 3-second time penalty, which we're far too used to seeing. As JLC is spun out at Stowe Corner. Ginge still yet to get past another car. He's got Looney Man behind him as well. There's 3 cars all on the softs in 6th, 7th and 8th. But as you said, Lee, the next 2 or 3 laps are crucial for them, really. Another car lost. Had 3 cars lost in 1 lap, and we're down to 13 now. And Danny got a bit skittish at the rear, and that might be the opportunity that Ginge needs. As you can see, it did hurt him. It did cost him. Is he going to go for it? No. Perhaps wasn't close enough. Perhaps didn't feel like he was confident enough to go for the lunge there. But yeah, the next 2-3 laps are crucial for the softs, because that peak performance, Lee, is going to start tumbling downhill.
Yeah, they don't last that long, and well, the hard tyres are still going to have plenty of life left in them. Come near the end, maybe mediums will start slipping off, so could possibly see Danny get up in position if things stay the way they are. Yeah, just need to wait and see how it is. We've got about 5 laps of racing left. Across the line.
Yeah, Ginge just struggling to... With Danny having DRS, I just don't think he's got straight line advantage over him. And really, you're going to get someone in a corner at Silverstone. As the top guy, you're going to have to be careful here. There's actually a black marker car that's come out of the pits to retire, but actually got out of the way just in time. So I don't think they ghost, actually, once they retired. That's also a little bit of a glitch. Again, Danny getting a poor exit out of the loop, but getting the DRS to defend, and yeah, just pretty much matching each other on straight line speed here. as we said already, Lee, Prodigy's a reserve anyway, so we've got to remember that his first place isn't really truly first. Chuckle's in first. So that's kind of the driver we need to be focusing on, and the guys behind, none of them in the five of them, sorry, that are behind haven't got time penalties either. So that makes it quite nice as well in terms of a spectator point of view, knowing that they really are fighting for whatever position they're fighting for.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, of course, when you do end up getting a penalty, especially when you're in a mad battle. In Prodigy's case, as soon as you went into first place, that was it. He got that penalty, and when that happens, it is just so frustrating.
Yeah, it certainly is. Ginge again made up some good ground in the first 2 laps after the safety car, and now he's gone a little bit stuck behind the other McLaren, and Looney Man getting stuck behind Ginge as well, because they haven't really got time to wait. And we'll see again, is Danny going to get another poor exit? He does every time. He struggles with the rear, and Ginge just doesn't seem to have the response when we go down this straight. But is he now got the answer to his question? Looks like he got the answer right, maybe? As he's going around the outside, I think he's got that done. Into Luffield, parks the car on the apex, defends it nicely. He's now got 1.5 seconds to gain on that lead pack. But is it a little bit too late now, as we're going to go on to lap 24 in a minute, and we're going to have 3 laps to go? And actually, Danny's still right there, actually. He hasn't been able to break away from him whatsoever after the overtake at the exit of Luffield.
Yeah, but he's managed to do it now with going to the Magus and Beckett. But then again, Danny's going to have the DRS now, and he's slipped in right behind to get that slipstream. Ginge defends to the inside, Danny.
My days.
So it's got that momentum to get right around the outside and move up into 5th place again. Nicely done there from the McLaren, man.
Yeah.
Now, Winnie Man could be looking at moving up on Ginge now.
I really don't think, actually. I think we've done them a bit of a disservice. Ginge on Danny at Luffield, Brooklands and Luffield, fantastic move. And again there, especially on the hard tyre, where you would think that would, even at this point, would still be the tyre you would rather not be on. And he got the move done around the outside there. It was fantastic. As we now go through Aintree and down the Wellington Straight. Chuckle trying to get past Prodigy. A good idea, because Super Striker is really the guy he's fighting, and he's gone off the track. It's given Super Striker a chance here to get past, because Prodigy went quite wide, but no, he's been able to hold on to it. Not seen a switch of places between Danny and Ginge at the same place they did the lap previous. But smartly from Chuckle to get that buffer.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always more intelligent to always have like somebody acting as a buffer there, whether it be even just a back marker when it's on a safety car restart, for instance. So yeah, he done actually quite nice there in getting past. It looks like Winnie Man, he's just having a little peek there up beside the Ginge there.
This is a fight that I'm really interested in, actually. Looney, Ginge and Danny. It's been very close, and Coix is just sneaking up on them as well, having a quiet comeback after having a bit of an issue with Prodigy at the start of the race. We're on the penultimate lap now, lap 25 of 26. Are we going to see Ginge go for it here? DRS open. Obviously going to have the advantage of that DRS now, which is just showing. But opts to stay behind it. He literally blended out of the throttle there to stick behind him.
Yeah, I noticed that. So he's going to be waiting until the next lap in order to overtake. So he's got that sort of buffer that he needs, so that Danny won't be able to use the DRS against him, or he'll have less of an opportunity to use it against him. And
Chuckle's got to think about this here, Lee, because does he really want to fight with Prodigy that much? Does he want to have, take the risk of being knocked out of the race and just gifting it to Super Striker? It's definitely a big mental game at this point, with Prodigy throwing a bit of a spanner in the works here. Coix just got past Looney Man, really on the charge. This should be a fantastic comeback drive for him, actually. And we go on to the final lap. Chuckle is leading the race. Super Striker is technically in second. And Pippo Kennedy is in third. He's second in the championship. Chuckle's down in 8th in the championship right now. He needs this win to jump up the order a little bit. But here comes Prodigy. Is he going to want to get it on the road? But he loses that buffer, Chuckle, as he lets him go by. And is that going to be an issue? Here comes Ginge. Like you said, Lee, he waited to the final lap. He's got it done at Brooklands. I think he can sense that Coix Gamer's catching up, and very quick in these final couple of laps. And Danny now trying to fight back. This could get tasty here as we go into Cop's Corner. And the other thing that Chuckle's got here, Lee, is we go on to the final DRS straight of the race. He's got DRS to defend against Super Striker, who's going to be using everything to try and catch up. Hasn't led this race at all this evening, and doesn't look like that's going to be the case here. Here comes Danny, going right, going left, inside and out. He goes onto the gravel. It's let Coix Gamer through. Is he going to go for it on Ginge? He tries to go up the inside, but I don't think he's got it done. Prodigy goes over the line first, but he drops out, should I say. Chuckle wins the race. Super Striker is second. Pippo Kennedy is third. Ginge comes across the line in fourth place, it will be. But fifth place on the standing, sixth for Danny, seventh for Looney Man, and Coix Gamer ended up coming eighth. I'm not sure what happened there.
I have no idea what happened there. That was just...
That was a hectic end. It was very, very hectic indeed.
It was most certainly. Seeing that, it was quite a mad ending. And I don't even think we've even talked about drivers of the day.
We haven't at all. I was thinking Coix Gamer, to be honest, but I'm not sure after literally the end.
I think, is he not a reserve, is he?
Nope.
Is he not? Oh.
No, he's not. Oh. Ginge, maybe? We'll talk about it in a second.
Cool. Right, so, looking at having a wee rundown there, we've got Chuckle, who got that first place there. Nicely done from him there. Super Striker finished in second. Pippo Kennedy in third. Prodigy fourth. Ginge came home in fifth. Danny sixth. Seventh was Looney Man. Eighth was Coix Gamer, and he's going to be taking that fastest lap point. Also, Royal Rumble in 9th, Prof 10th, Lee 11th, and Argos in 12th. All the folks who did not finish the race, unfortunately, it was Triz, GLC, Aki, Matty Jones, Chuck, GTR, and Per Bowden. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to the end.
I'm actually thinking the Pippo Kennedy driver of the day, actually. Had quite a strong race. Just really trying to... Or it's Ginge or Danny. Those two are sticking out for me as well. I'll leave it up to you, big man.
Oh, Jesus, man. I always got to do this to me.
Right, we'll see if we get anyone in for a interview. We'll give it a few minutes. While we wait, haven't said it at all this race, really. Make sure you're checking out the highlight videos as well, and the overtakes of the month from last month. And those moments of the week as well, the short videos that are all on the channel and easy to find on the home page. Hungry next week, Lee?
Hungary is always quite a good track, of course. Not many overtaking opportunities. But still, Sector 1 is a uh, great battle in there, I would say.
Okay, well, let's say we'll give it a minute. See if anyone will turn up.
Well, wait, what did you say? Ginge?
Yeah, go on then. We'll go for Ginge.
Cool.
What was the car that won? I've actually it's an Alfa Romeo, isn't it? I've seen a lot of Alfa Romeo winning this season. Actually, a lot. We saw it last season as well, of course. I think Paul Jones was Alfa Romeo in Thursday last season as well. So I think if you had to look back at stats of the actual team Alfa Romeo, I think they've won a huge amount of races this season. Or the last sort of 6 months, a lot of races have been won by an Alfa Romeo. Right, I don't think we're going to have anyone turn up, right, would be my guess. So in that case, we'll just quickly talk about next week. It's China on Monday, and then, as I said, it's Hungary with me and Lee again next Thursday. And before then, of course, you can get highlights from this week, week 4, and moments of the week, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I know some of you haven't. Like the video and share the video to your friends who like league races, or you want them to join the league as well. Of course, more than welcome. Yeah, so until Monday, until you hear us again on the highlights videos, it's goodbye from me and from Lee.
Peace out.